Hello, all you professional wrestling fans. Welcome back to Squared Circle Speak. And today we've got a fun video for you. We're doing another 10 count top 10 video. This time we're going to do something a little different here. We're going to go deep into the world of fantasy because we are doing the top 10 fantasy dream matches that can never happen. So that would be two people from two completely different eras, one of the participants being retired or dead or whatever. We're going to completely to a world where these matches cannot happen anymore. So this is going to be interesting to say the least.
Yes, and this is definitely our own top 10. Obviously other people's top 10s are going to definitely be different than ours because yeah.
Yeah, when we get into dream matches, my definition of a dream match is probably not the same as yours and probably not the same as everybody else's out there. So this is what we think are the top 10. Obviously, your opinions are going to be different than ours. So we'd like to know your opinion as well. Down in the comments, you can leave your list for your top 10 fantasy dream matches that can never happen. Uh, some of mine I think could potentially happen, but highly unlikely.
All
So
right, let's start off with our first one, Ryan. What's your number 10?
my number 10 is the battle of the big men, Andre the Giant versus the Big Show.
Okay.
It's just you get two big men that are similar. You got to put them in the ring together if they had the chance.
Yeah.
The old school Andre versus the modern day Big Show. I mean, fucking, I don't know if the ring could hold it, but I think it'd just be a spectacle to see those two, square off and wumble around the ring for about 5 minutes. But it wouldn't be
Right.
a great technical match. Even though like young Andre was pretty damn athletic, so you
Yeah,
like young Andre versus young Big Show, they'd be pulling drop kicks on each other. So
they could.
I mean, it could be pretty fun if you put the young versions of themselves in the ring together. So oh, that's a fun one to start with. It's the match that when you think about dream matches like this, like eras versus each other. That's one of the ones that always pops up. Is Andre and Big Show. So I don't know. And for a while there, Big Show is known as Andre's kid. So yeah, father versus son match.
All right. My number 10 is way off from that. Uh, Ryan, I'm going for you wanted a match that we definitely can't happen.
Yeah.
It can't happen. And it's a dream match because of styles and what they stood for. I'm going with the $1 Million Man taking on Daniel Bryan
What the fuck?
because you have $1 Million Man who's all about the money. You have Daniel Bryan who's all about living off the land and doesn't really care about money.
Ooh.
It'd be a great technical match. They're both
Would
really good wrestlers.
it would be. You can't deny that.
I think I think it would be a good dream match.
Good, and hey, the story, yeah, like you said, the story kind of writes itself. I could have made a top 100 list, and that would not have been on my list ever. So he just threw me for a loop with that one. All right, well, this is gonna be a fun list if that's what you're starting off with, because oh boy. All right. My number 9 is a tag team match.
Okay.
Can I give some love to some tag teams? Two high flying teams that really changed the landscape of wrestling. Two teams that you could say one team modeled their style after the other one, took it to a new level. I'm talking the Hardy Boys versus the Rockers.
Hmm.
You could see, prime young Shawn Michaels and Mark Jannetty versus the Hardy Boys, all flying around the ring. And you knew, like, the Hardy Boys were the modern day Rockers. They took the high flying style and then took it to new heights and new extremes. But I think this would be a really fun, like fast paced, really cool tag team match. And if you wanted to go crazy, you could make it a ladder match. But yeah, I think, I almost did Rockers versus the Midnight Express or Rock and Roll Express, but
All right.
that felt too on the nose. So I
All
did
right.
I did Rockers versus Hardy Boys. So
Interesting.
yeah.
My next one is one that's on a lot of people's list. It's on my list, but I really wouldn't care to see it. Uh, it is Goldberg taking on Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, yeah.
Now, back in the 1998, yes, this was on the list, and yeah, as a 1998 12-year-old Nathan, I probably would want to watch this. I would be into it, but right now, hell no, I would not want to. I couldn't imagine Goldberg and Stone Cold like even in their prime. It probably would have been a shitty
Oh,
fucking
that
match.
match would suck.
So,
Yeah.
but it's on a lot of people's list. I figured I had to put it on here. It's at a low 9 for me, but it's on my list.
Yeah, that match would be awful, dude. I can't even imagine what a Goldberg Stone. Like, yeah, even in their prime, Goldberg couldn't hang with Austin at all.
Yeah.
There's no way. We'll be on 8.
Yep.
My number 8. Let's see here. What do I got? Man, mine are all so big names. It's hard to narrow this down. My number 8. So this is one that could potentially happen, but honestly, I don't see it ever happening just because of, one guy's basically retired.
Mm-hmm.
It's the guy you mentioned, Stone Cold. But it's obviously Stone Cold and CM Punk. Um, the story writes itself. They've always teased it, but I never see this match happening because I don't think Stone Cold's coming out of retirement for CM Punk.
Right.
He did it for Owens. I think that was it. I don't think Austin's going to wrestle again ever. He did the one match, and I really don't feel like it's ever going to happen. But this is this was when I was younger. This was my dream match to see these two, and I think it's Punk's dream match as well. But I just now I could be proved wrong, and down the line they might fucking convince Austin to come out of retirement. But I think he did it for Owens. I think he just did it as a favor for him, and I don't see Austin wrestling again. But I would kill to see this match. I mean,
Yeah.
the promos
Absolutely.
themselves would just be phenomenal. Like,
Absolutely.
and then the story of Punk being straight edge, Austin drinking beer. I mean, it just Punk's got to be the heel, and then you've got a money match there.
That makes sense to me. Uh, all right. My next one. When you think of some dream matches, you think of people that have similar styles. I went with some that are opposites stuff earlier, but this is some that are like one mirrored his style after the other. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm going with we got Mr. Perfect on one side taking on Dolph Ziggler because you talk about two guys that they oversold their asses off. And could you imagine the overselling in this match?
Dude, this match would be the most overselling in history, dude. This would
Yeah.
look like an epic match because they would both sell so much for each other. It'd be crazy. Yeah, that, I mean, not to be cliche, but that would be pretty perfect to see those two in the ring together. Like, because you could tell Dolph modeled his entire selling ability and everything he did around after Mr. Perfect. Like,
Right.
so yeah, that would be that would be great. That would have been an amazing match. Mr. Perfect versus Prime Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
Oof, man, that's like a 7-star. Eat it, Meltzer. I go up to 7. uh, Number 7. Is that what I'm told out Meltzer and I completely lost track of. We're on 7, right?
Yeah, yeah, we're on 7.
My number 7, this is gonna be way out there, but you gotta look at their reign as champion. You got the most dominant champion ever versus the current most dominant champion. I'm talking Bruno Sammartino versus Roman Reigns.
Oh wow.
Now, for full transparency, I have never seen a Bruno Sammartino match. And so I don't really know how good he was in the ring. But I know he was champion for 7 years, and Roman Reigns was champion forever too. And so let's settle the debate: who was better, Roman versus Bruno? You know, I don't know. Bruno was pretty small, wasn't
Yeah.
he? Yeah, but I don't know. Like I said, I have seen highlights of Bruno Sammartino, but I don't think I've ever seen a full match. So I don't really know what his style was and if this would be a good match. But I felt like, Roman's the new dominant guy. He was. Bruno was a dominant guy throughout the 70s and 60s. Just throw them together.
Yeah. Makes sense. All right. So let's see here. Number what are we at? 6, 7?
You just told me.
Oh, sorry. All right, 7. Number 7. Uh, my number 7. I feel like I need to throw AEW some love. A lot of my love. I mean, I did have Daniel Bryan. I guess he's AEW now. But my number 7 is one that could happen, and a lot of people want it to happen, but dude, I don't see it happening. One, because I think both these guys are going to be on opposite companies forever, and two, one of them might be not able to wrestle anymore. And I'm going with Kenny Omega taking on Seth Rollins
Yeah, that's yeah.
because they're both really smooth in the ring, and it would be just a really, really, really good match. And they both kind of wanted it, like they both called each other out and stuff. But yeah, like I said, Kenny Omega might not be able to wrestle anymore, and if he is, then he probably don't have very much longer to go. And I don't see either one of them going to the either
Yeah.
other show, so either
That-
other company.
That's a rare modern match that'll never happen.
Yeah,
Like that's a rare one where it's two guys who could, but just never will.
yep,
That's I'm debating on giving AEW some love because there's one match that I thought about that I don't really want to see, but I think it would be for the hardcore fans, it would be something. I mean, you know what? Let's do it. Number 6 for me. I'm we're gonna go with a death match here, a hardcore match. Darby Allin versus Mick Foley. Because I want to see them just beat the holy hell out of each other and Darby Allin do one of those crazy stunts. And then you got Mick Foley, who was the Darby Allin before Darby Allin. So, they both take a couple falls, have some fire, some thumbtacks, some barbed wire. Let them go crazy.
yeah. There we go.
Not my style of match, but, if you're talking fantasy matches, you might as well have at least one one death match in here. And who's
Yeah,
going to do that other than Darby Allin? The dude's
makes sense.
crazy.
Yep, that makes sense.
It wasn't even on my original list. I just thought of that right now.
Yeah, sometimes that's the best thing. All right, my number 6, Ryan. You had CM Punk earlier. I think I'm gonna have a CM Punk in here too.
Ooh,
So my next one is CM Punk taking on Hot Rod, Roddy Piper,
God damn, I thought of that one. Yeah.
because the first off, the mic skills,
Mm.
the promos that go back and forth before the match would be insane. And then, in ring, neither one of them are like considered amazing in the ring.
Neither one of them are technicians.
No. But they both had different styles that I think would work together and make a decent match. And I think it'd be really good. I think the crowd would really like it.
Yeah, oh, that would be. And also, I think Punk stated that like Roddy Piper was like the guy that got him interested in wrestling. So,
There you go.
it writes itself, and that would have been just the mic skills. Like the same with like Stone Cold and Punk. Like Punk on the mic, if you put him with one of those legendary guys, you're gonna get some of the best promos of all time. Like I could only imagine Hot Rod and CM Punk going off script on each other.
Yeah.
All right, we're on 5.
Yeah.
My number 5, we're going back to the tag team realm. We got 2 of the most dominant tag teams of all time. We're gonna settle the score. Who's won more titles? Who's won Who's the better team across all companies? We got the Legion of Doom versus the Dudley Boys.
Mm.
You know, the Dudley Boys won titles in ECW, TNA, WWE. They technically won WCW titles. They won titles in Japan. And then you got the LOD, WCW, NWA, WWE,
New
AWA,
Japan.
Japan. So, yeah, they both won titles all over the place. And this would be a hard hitting, bruising, just beat the hell out of each other tag team match. And I would enjoy every minute of it.
I can go with that. I think that's a good pick.
Well, thank you. Sometimes I know what I'm doing.
I did not think of that one. That's a good one. All right. We're at 5.
Yeah. I love how we both
Um,
forget what we're on every time we do that. Like,
yeah. All right. Number 5 for me. This is definitely one for me. This is my list. This one's specifically what I want to see. I got Shawn Michaels.
obviously.
I can't have a dream match list without at
Yeah,
least one Shawn Michaels match.
yeah, I got one too. So,
And it's going against somebody else, Ryan, that utilizes some similar moves and definitely styled himself after Shawn Michaels. I'm going with Shawn Michaels versus Adam Cole
oh wow. I
because you know when Adam Cole was in NXT and in and before that in ROH, his timing was on point with that super kick. His the way he carried himself in on the mic and walking to the ring and everything, he was very Shawn Michaels esque.
mhm.
So it just makes sense to have, you know, have the guy that modeled himself after Shawn Michaels against Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, that would be one of the only matches where Shawn Michaels could wrestle like a big man.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he could throw Adam Cole around. That'd be great. I remember that it's like Shawn Michaels wrestled Rey Mysterio on that Eddie Guerrero tribute show, and it was like Shawn Michaels was like
And
doing like
I'm not gonna lie, they even teased this at one point.
they did. Shawn Michaels like special referee a match or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And yeah.
yeah, I thought they were gonna head down that road, honestly. I was like, holy shit, he's gonna come out of retirement for NXT. Like I've got a Shawn Michaels match too. It's my next spot, number 4. This is one that was supposed to happen, but the untimely death of one of the participants did not allow it to happen. Eddie Guerrero versus Shawn Michaels.
No, okay.
It was supposed to happen at WrestleMania 21 and or 22. 22 because Eddie was alive at 21. The rumors were this was supposed to happen at 22, but obviously Eddie Guerrero died. And it never happened. And they were both two of my favorites. I really loved Guerrero and Michaels, and them in the ring together would have been magic, and it would have been amazing to see those two in the ring. And so it's a shame that it never got to happen. And it's always one of my like biggest like fantasy matches is Guerrero versus Michaels. So that's my number 4.
All right. My next one is a big one because it's the one that a lot of people thought should have happened at a WrestleMania, and instead we got a different match, which ended up being really good too, and ended up being historic and everything. But this one's the one that everybody
Mm-hmm.
thinks is gonna happen. Oh, you already know where I'm going, huh?
I think I already know exactly where you're going because if it is, it's my next one. So,
All right, I'm going with Hulk Hogan.
oh no, never mind.
Yeah. So Hulk Hogan fought The Rock.
Oh, okay. It
At
is on my
WrestleMania.
list. It's just not okay.
Yeah. And everybody thought for sure, when Hulk Hogan left, the next man that really, I mean, Bret Hart did take over the mantle for a little bit, but you know,
Ratings were down.
the
Everything was
real,
shit.
the real next guy was Stone Cold.
Yeah.
So Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold just made sense,
Yes.
but it didn't happen. We never got it. So that's definitely on the list. Not sure it's something as I
Yeah.
look at it now is something that I really would want to see, but back then maybe.
Beck. Yeah. I mean, It's on my list too. It's my next, not my next one, but the one after. But yeah, that match would have. I'm so surprised they didn't do it, but I think it was just Austin didn't want to, so he
Yeah.
went with The Rock. But yeah, I don't know why, man. Hogan Austin would have been. I mean, Hogan Rock was great, but Hogan Austin I think would have been way better.
Yeah, agreed.
I think their styles mesh a little better than Hogan Rock too. They can just
Yeah.
have a brawl. Like Hogan don't have to do much against Austin. My next one is another one that everyone thinks should have happened at a Mania. It's another one that everyone was dying to see. Their characters are just similar, so similar. I sound like Trump there. So similar, best styles ever. Everyone talk. Um,
Jesus Christ.
uh, my next one is Sting versus Undertaker. Now, technically, they have wrestled each other, but not as the Sting and Undertaker characters. It was Sting versus Mark Callis or whatever the fuck his name was. But they never wrestled as Undertaker and as Sting, and they had their opportunity to pull the trigger, and they instead did Sting versus Triple H, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
That should have happened at that Mania. Even if you were doing the whole WCW versus WWF thing, Undertaker was there the whole time. He was the face of the WWF. He was the locker room leader. I don't know why they didn't do it anyway. It still made sense with the story they were trying to tell.
Yeah, and Sting said that he wanted it, and
Yeah,
I guess Undertaker didn't want it for some reason.
that's why Sting said he went to WWE was to fight Undertaker.
I don't know why Undertaker didn't want it.
I don't know, but that's my number three. At the time, it would not have been a good match. I don't feel like when Sting came, but if Sting would have came originally in like 2002, 2001, then it would have been a pretty decent match. But
Yeah,
when they were gonna do it, I don't think it would have been that good. But still, would have been just a spectacle to see those two wrestle each other.
makes sense. All right, my next one, Ryan, number three, is another one that I really don't really care to see, but I know it's gonna be on the list of people's dream matches. So I guess I had to throw it in here. Plus, we haven't had John Cena yet. So
Oh,
John Cena, Ryan, one of the best of all time, right?
yeah, the goat.
He's got to go against another goat eventually, right? I mean, we got to settle the score. John Cena versus Hulk Hogan.
That match would suck.
Because it would have been a really slow fucking match,
They
but
both would have hulked up, and then Cena would have done his thing, and it just would have been.
yeah, it would have been very similar, that's for sure. And it would have been slow and sluggish, but yeah, I think that it's a match that a lot of people, talk about a dream match. They both are very similar people.
True. I
And
mean, he.
they were both faces of the company. They were both the ultimate good guy at one point. Of course, Hogan's not now, but he was before. And I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, my number two, as you already said, was Hogan Austin.
Okay.
Again, it should have happened. Uh, Hogan instead of Austin had to wrestle Scott Hall, which gave us the greatest Sunner Stone of all time. But just that kind of sucked for Austin. Like he had to wrestle Scott Hall, and then The Rock got to wrestle Hogan. But again, I don't think Austin wanted it. So I think it was more
Mhm.
Austin not wanting to wrestle Hogan than anything. But the fact that they were together that long, like they had a year or two there where they were both in the company and never really wrestled. They had a tag team match, I think, one time, and that's it. It's like kind of weird that they never really put them together. But
Yeah. But when people don't want to face each other, that's what happens.
yep.
You think the boss would just tell them you gotta do it, but whatever. Uh, my number two is also one on your list. Sting and Undertaker.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, it totally should happen. Undertaker should have swallowed his pride, made that match happen. I don't know if he thought Sting was going to win, and he didn't want to lose 2 matches at Mania. I don't know. I don't know what it was, why he didn't want to do it, but it should have happened.
Yeah, there was no reason why it shouldn't happen. When Sting first debuted there, that's the first thing everyone said, like, "Oh shit, we're gonna get Sting Undertaker," and then we never did.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
that's like what everyone wanted, and
Yep.
it never happened. My number one, I don't know what your number one is, but my number one is one that I've always thought would have been wrestling wise one of the
No,
greatest wrestling matches of all time.
I think we got the same number one.
Do we? Because it kind of writes itself. It's USA versus Canada. It's two
Yeah,
of the greatest technical wrestlers of all time. It is Bret Hart versus Kurt Angle.
yeah, that's my number one
Yeah, I
too.
kind of figured. I didn't know if that was what you were going to go towards or not, but I mean, this match would have been technical wise off the charts, 7 stars. Greatest match of all time.
Yeah,
It and it's like they had if Bret would have stayed in WWE, man, they would have had it.
yeah,
Because he left, and like the next year, Kurt Angle came in. Like,
yeah,
like we missed it by a year,
yeah,
man. Like we were so close to getting Bret Hart and Kurt Angle. Like, and the story, like I said, story reminds itself. Angle's Mr. America, and Bret's Canada, and would have been pretty cool, but
yeah.
never.
You got any honorable mentions, Ryan? I got a few.
I got a few weird ones that I didn't feel like I got AJ Styles and Shawn Michaels.
Oh shit. Yeah, I didn't think of that one.
AJ wanted that for so long, it never happened.
Yeah.
I've got I got Goldberg versus Braun Breaker
Oh, Jesus Christ.
because I want to see them just like both spear each other.
Oh my God.
And then I didn't think of any women ones, and I was like, I need a woman's one. I didn't know what to do, so I did Medusa versus Becky Lynch.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I mean, I was trying to be like, we need a woman's match, but it's hard to judge women because for so long they weren't allowed to wrestle.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to come up with a dream match of because like the one I wanted that happened, Trish and Becky or Trish and Charlotte, like they both happened. And so
Yeah.
I tried to think of women dream matches, and there's very few I could come up with other than maybe like Awesome Kong and somebody. But what do you got as honorable mentions?
Well, for the women's, I would have had Trish and Sable.
Ah, I would have
Yeah.
sucked in the ring, but
Yeah, but it would have been, it's basically like, two
yes,
faces of generations there. And
yeah.
for a tag team, I would have FTR versus Midnight Express.
Oh yeah, like yeah, yeah. They're the
Yep.
same team, just reincarnated almost.
Yep. For let's see here. I had Owen Hart versus Eddie Guerrero,
Mm,
which I think would have been an amazing match.
that would have been great. Yeah, that would have been awesome.
Yeah. And then I don't know if this has happened in the Indies or not, but I feel like these two would just go crazy if they could wrestle each other, which they may have. I don't know. You got Will Ospreay versus Teddy Hart.
So you said Will Ospreay, and I was like, oh, who's he gonna say? I was like, man, there's so many possibilities for a Will Ospreay match, and then he threw Teddy Hart at me and just, dude, oh my god. First time I've heard Teddy Hart's name in like years.
I figured I'd pop you on that one.
Man, Teddy Hart. What a disgrace to the Hart name, by the way. All right.
All right, I think that's gonna do it for this episode.
What an ending. Teddy Hart. Yeah. So I don't even know where to go. Like I've said, if you have your top 10 or any of your dream matches that you would like to see, put them down in the comments. And please make them dream matches. Let's not go crazy with the term dream match like AEW does every week. Let's make it actual dream matches. All right, people? Just be thinking about it. Let's not just go crazy and say, take a Sheeta and Taka Michinoku's a dream match. Like, because it's not. No disrespect, but come on. If you have an actual dream match you want to say in the comments, leave it in the comments, and then we'll, maybe we'll respond to them and see how wrong you are.
Wow.
Feeling feisty today. All right, Nathan. Before I get us in more trouble, I think you need to end this.
All right. I don't know where that came from, but yeah, hit like if you liked, or hell, even if you disliked what Ryan just said. Hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe and tickle that notification bell so that way you know when we're about to throw down some more controversial statements. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.